Hi everybody. Most of you had a question about account receivables. I will discuss a few concepts related to that so that you will not have any issues while creating account receivable. Let's first discuss a few things which might be essential for you to understand before just writing a query. Um, Let me open on screen. So first you need to understand what is account receivable. So if there is a customer, we are demonstrated using Excel. If there is a customer C1, C2, C3, and let's say there is an order O1, O2, O3, and let's say there are three items. I1, I2, I3. I1 cost is $5, I2 cost is $2, and I3 cost is $7. Let's say in order 1 he purchased create extra columns. In order 1, customer C1 purchased 3 items, I1 quantity, I1 quantity 2, and I2 quantity 3. Customer, this is items in order, and shipping cost, total cost. So I'll repeat the same. This one by customer C2 and this by customer C3, and this one is I2 1 quantity and I3 1 quantity. And this one is I1 say 2 quantities and I3 2 quantities. Let's say shipping cost for customer 1 was for order 1 was $10. This one is $10 and this one is $5. So total cost for this particular order is 5 into 2 plus 2 into 3, 10 plus 6, 16 plus 10, that is 26. Similarly, for this one would be 2 plus 7 plus 10, that is 17 plus 10 is 27, and this one I write it directly as 26, and this one would be 2 into 5, 10 plus 14, 24, 24 plus 5, 29. So currently I have one order for one customer. That can be a fourth order, for the same customer, and can be some other items as well. Might purchase some other items. Okay. Correct. So 2 times the cost of I1, 10 plus 14, 24 plus 10, 34. So in all, let's say I assume all my transactions happened within one period, or even if it happened sometime, I can always filter my record based on dates. Now if I group my cost value, add the cost value according to the customer, what result will I get? C1, C2 and C3. Customer 1 should pay $26. Customer 2 should pay 27 plus 34. $61, and customer 3 should pay 29. Correct. So this is net money that I am expecting to receive. So net money to receive is not account receivable. Account receivable is the value of the goods that has been sent to the customer along with an invoice, and you haven't received its payment. That difference in value of the good is account receivable. So even if you sold something, immediately it will become the sales amount. It doesn't become account receivable. So moment you put it in invoice and you ship the goods, it becomes account receivable. So in the corresponding period, customer 2, so you can say, like, from the receipt table, money that has been received so far from customer 1 is customer 1 just made one purchase and he received he received goods worth $26 and he paid $26. For customer 2, he have paid only 61 and have made two purchases, 127 and 134, right? So he had paid only the first amount, 27, and customer 3, who is supposed to pay me $29, haven't paid anything. So if he haven't paid anything, it will not be present in the receipt table, right? Now this is my receipt value, customer IDs and the amount, and this is like what sales or what value of goods each customer has received. If I want my account receivable for each customer, I would like to see information in this format: C1, C2, C3, and this is the money that they have taken, 26, 61, 29, and this is the amount they have paid, 26, 27 and 0. So net amount I am yet to receive, the account receivable from each customer would be is equals to sales minus amount paid, right? This is the customer, this is sales, this is paid. This is how I want my result to look like. Now there are some problems. I want to join these two tables in order to get this value. If I have to get this value and I want to join this two tables based on the column customer ID, only the matching records, that is C1 and C2, will be retrieved. Correct? So if I do a natural join between these two tables and I calculate these amounts, I will get only these two records. Only these two records. But if I sum up, the account receivable part comes to like 34, which is not correct, because I know my sales is 116 and I've got 53 and I am yet to receive 63, and it's saying that I should get 34, which is wrong. So I cannot do a simple join. If I do a simple join, this result will be returned and it will not be a complete set of result. What I want is, I want all records of the sales table and only the matching records of the receipt table. So in order to do that, I do something called as left join, left outer join or left join. What happens in this left join is, in earlier period, if you have set 1 and set 2, both with different set of datas, when you do a join, when you do a normal join, only let me see. When you do a normal join on a common column, only the area intersection between the two sets will be returned. This area, see? But right now my requirement is to get all records of sales and only the matching records of the receipts. So I do a left outer join. When I do a left outer join, I get all data in the sales and the matching data in the R. So I get this total information. And I will get all the columns of the left table. So when I get all columns of the left table, I'll get the sales amount corresponding to them. Get the sales amount. Sorry. Yeah, sales amount corresponding to them. After I got the sales amount corresponding to them, I will get the corresponding payment received amount. The payment received amount for C1 and C2 would be simple, but there is no matching record in the receipt table. So what would be retrieved? Because there is no matching record, it will return me null. In SQL, you cannot use a null to do an arithmetic or normal operation. That's why you are provided with a formula that you can see in the design view, val and z. So on the total receipt column, you are using a function called val and nz. Val, if you go to your database tools, designer tools and builder, you can get those functions from the built-in functions on conversion categories. What this val does is, it returns a number contained in a string as a numeric value of the appropriate type. And what does nz does is, it returns a zero length string if any other value when the variant is null. So if the argument is null, then it will give a zero length thing. If it is zero length thing, the value, numeric value for a zero length thing will be 0. If it is a valid number string, then the value will be converted to a corresponding number. So I'll be using this thing. If I don't use the thing and do a subtraction, 26 minus 26 will be 0, and 61 minus 27 will come 34. And if I leave it as null and I do 29 minus null, I'll get null. So this is 34. This is supposed to be 27. Yeah. So 26 minus 26 is 0. 61 minus 27 is 34. 29 minus null is null. So what I do is, I pass these values, total receipt values, into nz. nz converts that particular column into string, and when the string is a null, it will return an empty string, that is just empty. There is nothing inside the string. So this nz will make it as 26, string 26, make it as string 27. Null will become like this, and then when value will operate on these values, it will become 26, 27 and 0. That's the value you want when this value is null. When total receipt is null, you want it to be 0. Okay. Now when you have this value, you can easily do a mathematical operation on this. This minus this will give you the result. Good. So we learned about first about transaction, how to get the money received by adding the shipping cost to each order customer and getting the customer. Now there can be a scenario where you haven't grouped it by customer. If you haven't grouped it by customer, how will this entry would look like? This entry would look like C2 27, and C2 will come again with 34, right? If you haven't grouped it by the customer. Now when you do a join, left join between these two, your entries would look like C2 again. If it was C2, for C3, paid is 0, account receivable is 29. For C2, the receipt amount is 27 and the sale amount is 27. For C2, here it will get the sale amount again as 34, but the paid amount, it will again get the matching 27. And how much would be the account receivable? Account receivable will become 34 minus 27, that is 3 plus 4, 7. So what is the total account receivable now? 36, which is wrong. This is not the right result, because you have made a sale of 116 and you have received only 53, and you are supposed to receive 116 minus 53, that is 63. This payment was for a previous order, and this payment came in from the join of that table. So you have to make sure when you do a left outer join, the columns, the customers column, they are grouped by, and the receipt here is also grouped by the customers, so that you will not get C2 3427, you will get C2 64, or what was it? Sum of 27 plus 34 is 61. So you'll get here is 61. Okay. And then account receivable will become 63, which is matching. So this is all the concept behind this. Now let's look at the result. First you will calculate the customer and the sales amount. Okay, first you calculate the sales for each customer, how much amount of goods that the customer has purchased. Then you calculate the receipt, how much money each customer has paid, and then you calculate account receivable as how much a customer has purchased, how much he has paid, and by removing the null values here, you make them as 0, you find account receivable, difference of the sales minus receipt. If you go to the design view, you can see this is sales, this is receipt. This is not a normal join, this is a left join, and that is achieved by creating the link. In normal case, when you are trying to get the matching record, what you do is you drag this and drop on this. You see the dots here, like two simple dots. But this time I want all records of the sales and the matching records from the receipt. So what I do is I want all values of this table. I'm doing a left join. Just now I explained you, right? So what I do is do a right click, join properties, and I say include all records from customer sales. Okay, so I don't need the matching records. I need only all records of the customer sales. And say okay. Once I do that, I save it, I run the query, I get this result. If I copy this result into an Excel, I can tell you what's the total sale amount. Total sale amount is 68831. Total sale amount is 68831, and total amount receipt is 53083. 53083.5. So total amount account receivable is this minus this, which is around 15745. Okay, I hope you guys understood why I did value and Z on the total receipts. That's because I'm getting values, matching values. So for this area, I'll get the matching records of the R. But for this value, when R is not there, you'll get null. You'll get the nulls. So when there is no matching record in the second table, in the paid amount, you'll get null. And then I'm using that formula. It is this is the total receipt. It can be null because it is coming from the second table, and then I'm using that formula value nz total receipt comma 0, and then calculating my account receivable as the total sales minus receipt. This will be my result. My result, total sales amount will be 68831, and total receipt amount will be 53083.5, and my account receivable will be 15747.5. Thank you guys. I hope you liked it.